need to be here though, because we got to kind of continue where we left off yesterday, because since we got off the air yesterday and the Nico Harrison firing became official, the owner, Patrick Dumont, also put out a letter yesterday explaining why he decided to fire him. He also basically stopped short of actually apologizing for trading Luka, which is interesting to me, Boogie, because I don't know, you might as well have apologized, no? Could he have?
I don't like it. It's almost trying to find a way to, you know, make yourself the hero in a really ugly situation or a really ugly breakup. Obviously, you know, it's been well noted that this was a Nico decision, but also Nico has a boss to answer to, which is, you know, which is this guy. And in this situation, you know, obviously Nico's taking all the heat, but somebody had to sign off on this, and that's, you know, that's this owner. So I just feel like this is kind of a situation where trying to make yourself the hero in the midst of chaos, and I'm just not really feeling it. Take the accountability. You know, it was a bad decision with everybody involved. Now just start trying to move forward. That's all you can really do at this point. But I can see through the BS.
Yeah, and all in all, this has really come down to the fan base, right? Like, it's cause and effect. You trade Luka and you bring in AD, and as an owner, as a GM, you feel like, hey, we're bringing in a champion, we're bringing in a guy that you know what kind of caliber player that he is, but you didn't realize how much the fan base admired and adored and supported Luka when you make this move. And then you get all of this blowback. You get negative blowback, and then that carries into a bad season where you underperform, into a summer where this is still a distraction, into the next season where it's as equally a distraction. And now we're still dealing with it, and now you're in a position where we gotta clean this back up. 24 years of sellouts, now you're messing with the pot. Now you're messing with the money, right? Now you're messing with the church's money. And so obviously when that starts to be affected, you got to clean up some of these things. And so I understand where the owner is coming from. You have a fan base that's been loyal. They've obviously been supportive in 24 years of ups and downs and championship runs and talent and different things of that nature. And then you have that run come to an end, and you're still dealing with criticism from the outside. You're still dealing with fire Nico chants. You're still dealing with a fan base that's disgruntled and unhappy. Something needed to be done. And so, you know, you fire Nico and then you bring out a letter to the fans and you fall short of apologizing. No, finish the deal.
Right, might as well.
Yeah, finish the deal. Apologize to the fans and say, you know what? We flubbed this one.
Yeah.
And we can move on and we can build back again together as an organization, as a state and as a city, and as a fan base. And I think that was important for him to do that. But I also think it was important don't write us a letter. Stand in the front line like everybody else. Stand in the front line like Nico had to stand in the front line.
Absolutely.
Go stand on stage like Jason Kidd had to stay on stage. Listen, go out there. If you're as you are, you're the boss, you're in charge, and you're writing a letter to the fans, put your face out there as well. So the letter is a step. I still feel like they could have did a little bit more, but all in all, you know, this is the start of a healing process for the Dallas Mavericks.
I just don't understand how, you know, this is where he can kind of avoid the situation of accountability. At the end of the day, you own this team, you write the checks, you have the final say-so. So now when you see the reaction, all of a sudden it's almost like it's giving like, I never really wanted to do this. This was all Nico's fault.
Yeah, it does. Well,
like, you're
also,
the owner of this team.
I
You
agree.
write the checks. Like, at the end of the day, we can sit here and say the GM made the decisions. The GM has somebody to answer to. So I just can't sit here and ignore or act like he didn't have or play a part in this decision. This is like trying to put a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound.
Well, you don't want
just
to
can't
take
agree
full
with it.
blame. I mean, Chandler, would have been awesome if the letter was just like, man, we really screwed this up, and that's my bad, and we'll figure something out. But he stopped short of that. Why?
And this situation is unique, first of all, because Patrick Dumont and this family, they don't know much about basketball, right? They have a lot of money. They know a lot about money and business and casinos. So when they brought in Nico Harrison, they fully put their trust into him, and they let him kind of do what he thought was best for the team. So yes, did they know about this Luka trade? Did Jason Kidd know about this Luka trade? Was everybody at the end of the day on board with this trade? Yes, that's where I think Nico went wrong. Because if I'm the GM of the Mavs and this trade's brought to me, I'm asking you what drugs you were on because you were high, and I would never approve or agree to this trade as the general manager. Whether you want to put me now as the scapegoat or not, he had the opportunity to say, guys, what are we doing? This guy is 25 years old. Anthony Davis is 7 years older, kind of out of his prime, always banged up. We get it. I love him defensively. I love him when he's on the floor. But this is a huge, huge mistake doing this. That's what Nico could have done. And as far as the letter, I think agree or not to agree with it, I think it had to happen. I think when you have such a fan base that's so frustrated, that's now not going to games, that's booing your team, that's booing your GM, to the point where it's a little dramatic, but the safety of Nico and his kids having security at schools, when it's getting to that magnitude, something has to change. So I do like the apology because start kind of reassuring them that, look, we messed up. And he could have said it in a different way. Like Lou and Boogie said, he could have took more ownership himself as an owner, but he's not a basketball mind. That's why he hired these people. And Nico did a lot of things, not just this trade. Obviously the frustration stems from the Luka trade, but he goes in there, he fires all Cubans guys. He fires Casey Smith, who's a legendary trainer. He fires Casey Spangler. He fires the strength coach, Jeremy, brings in all his guys. He botches the Jalen Brunson situation, lets him walk for nothing. He trades Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin, which was horrific. And then he does this Luka trade, which, again, that's their baby. That's their pride and joy of everything in Dallas. And you trade them in the middle of the night in secrecy, which they'll never forgive and they'll never get over. So I think something had to happen. I don't think Nico's a bad guy. I think he made some mistakes, but also things could have been handled a lot differently. And I just think the apology is the first step for this kind of healing process of this fan base to get over it and to support the team the rest of the season. Something like this had to happen.
Chandler, but I know you're familiar with this scenario and you have a lot of relationships over there. But everything that you just pointed out, from the Brunson deal to trading Luka and all of these different things, I know you're not Nico, but what is he like? What you thinking? What was your end goal? What was your end game to move all of these pieces around that have gone on and had so much success in other places? Like, what do you think his end game was? That's
what I don't think the dude was on a suicide mission. Like, clearly he was trying to do what he thought was best for his career as his first gig from Nike to the general manager with no real experience. Like, I think he was doing what he thought was best. I think he truly thought the pieces around Anthony Davis and Luka's off the court habits were more of an issue, and the longevity of him being able to do what he's doing now, which now hindsight looks ridiculous because Anthony Davis is hurt and they're second to last in the Western Conference, and Luka's averaging over 40 points and they're second in the Western Conference. So that's what I don't get. And I don't like the whole scapegoat thing for Nico, but he made this bed that he's now sleeping in. As the GM, he could have overruled a lot of these decisions. And I know there's voices above him, but that voice knows nothing about basketball and put his full trust in Nico, and he swung for the fences and struck out. So I think something like this has to happen, but it's a great question, Luke, because we're all basketball guys, and those three moves I just said, none of us would agree, right? Like if you were in that war room, dude, I feel awful.
No, the moves, not you.
Well, also you, but yeah.
If we were in that Dallas Mavericks war room during that trade, would any of us stepped up and be like, guys, it's a bad trade?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But no one did. But see, I think that's my issue. Like, Jason Kidd's there too, and we can get to that now if we want to, because it was alluded to by Sham, shout out, that Kidd was aligned with Nico on the trade. So, okay, let's throw the owner out, doesn't know what he's doing, he's a money guy, right? Nico's job, his entire job, is to construct a team that can go out and start to win championships. And Kidd is, according to Shams, right there with him when this move is made. If that is true, what do we make of that? And is his future long now with Dallas?
Well, I'll say for me, and like Chandler said, we're all basketball guys, right? And publicly, something may be going on, and behind the scenes, you know the person's character. You know their work ethic. You know how they go about business. I have zero knowledge of what Luka is behind closed doors. But sometimes when you see these scenarios, they know something we don't know, or is something going on that they may not agree with as a staff that's going on that we don't know. However, if you're asking me, if I'm in that boardroom and just from a fan's point of view, and we're talking about trading Luka, and I don't have any information, and I don't know what his habits are and all of that stuff that they tried to make a big deal out of at the beginning of this whole ordeal, I'm gonna sit there and yes, I would say something like, y'all sure? Like we just got to the promised land with this same guy. Why are we going somewhere else to look for it? Like the grass ain't greener all the time. And as you can see, you go from a finals team to a team that was fighting to even sniff a play-in. You know what I mean? Like a lot changes when you deal a guy away like that. And when you do that and you don't get the results that you want, there's plenty of blame to go around. And Chandler just said it. You're talking about a guy that's at the top that aren't basketball people, they're money people. So when you put these type of responsibilities in basketball people's hands, either they pan out or they don't. And if they don't, somebody has to be blamed. And so, you know, that's what we're looking at. It's a mess from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Is he like if you're a betting man, you think J Kidd survives this? Do you think he gets the year? Like, what do you think happens now? Because the year is not going to be great.
I think he survives the season. I think they go with an interim in the meantime, and they wait till the summer, and then they hire someone with real experience. I've already heard the name Dennis Lindsey, who's done a great job in Utah, and now he's in Detroit. It's kind of build that franchise back up. Kind of hear that name already being thrown around. I said yesterday, I think the first thing they should do is hire Dirk Nowitzki. He is the most loved icon in Dallas. He clearly has separated himself from the entire franchise since the hiring of Nico, or since the move of Luka. He's been all on the side of the fans and was frustrated with that move. I think you bring in a guy like that, not even as the GM. Dirk's not a GM. He is just some sort of role, some sort of opportunity where he can get in front of the crowd. He can go to games. He can kind of have that vibe of Dirk where they remember the 2011 championship run. And that would kind of be the first step to me to kind of getting this fan base back for you. So again, I think Jason Kidd, at the end of the day, he's a basketball coach. He's technically not to have an opinion or say on moves like this. It's kind of above his pay grade. No doubt in my mind, I think he was in those meetings. No doubt in my mind, I think he knew about this trade. But at the end of the day, he's the head basketball coach, and this is above his pay grade. So I think he gets a little bit of grace moving forward, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just full-blown, fire sale come this summertime.
I don't know. I feel like through the midst of all this chaos, the main thing that we haven't seen yet is this product on the floor. And for some reason, that part kind of keeps getting ignored. If it comes to a situation where we do get to see this product on the floor and it turns out well, what do we do moving forward? What do we say moving forward? What if it works out exactly the way Nico said, or he envisioned it happening? And that's the part that I'm not okay with. It'd be different if we saw the product, it didn't turn out well, then we can have all these reactions and feel the way we do. But obviously it's an emotional reaction because of somebody that was so beloved in that franchise. But at the end of the day, you got to give Kidd a chance to coach this team, to put the product on the floor, see what it looks like. I think that's the most logical decision. And then after that, then you make your decision moving forward. Either you try to, make it work, or it's time to blow things up and start all over.
And go ahead.
And I will say, it's if I'm Nico's agent, right, or if I'm Nico, I can sleep well at night knowing that the team I did construct and I did take huge risk and chance for, basically my job, I never saw full at strength, and I never saw them on the floor of how I envisioned the Dallas Mavericks after Luka. So that is what he can hang his head on, that never happened and that opportunity never happened. Now we can look at the small sample size, and we can look at them being 3-8 this year, and we can look at what Luka's doing, with his body and all the concerns you had about him. You can see what he's doing in LA versus what the Mavs are doing now with a historic bad start. I'm talking 30th in offense, 30th in points per game, like really bad start. And again, it's 11 games, and still you have no Kyrie. Anthony Davis has been out. Derek Lively can't find a way to be healthy. So he did have a vision that never kind of came to fruition and never kind of became real on the court. So that's my only positive thing to say about Nico, is we never really saw this great team on paper together, which is what he envisioned.
You know how it is, like when something happens, everybody starts to pile on, and that's kind of what's happening now because Luka gets traded. His name got dragged through the mud a little bit. Now we've got the Nico situation, and a team source, we love a team source, said that Nico once put Jrue Holiday on the same talent tier as NIKOLA JOKIC. So that's now, we're going to sit there and question his talent evaluation skills. Boogie, what do you make of that statement?
I question a lot of these experts' talent evaluation. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, it's more failure than achieving the goal in this league, and that's the part that continues to get ignored. It's a lot of GMs that mess up. It's a lot of guys that get overlooked. It's a lot of talent that gets missed out on. It's a lot of talent that don't even get an opportunity.
Sure.
So this doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of the front office guys are idiots. I've worked with a lot of them. So this doesn't surprise me. This happens more often than not. It's just casuals in the public don't get to see this side of the business. It's a lot of failure, and it gets overlooked.
Around here, Boogie, we don't put a lot of stock into team sources, anonymous sources, and anything. If you're not willing to put your face and your name on it, I personally don't like to spend a lot of time on those type of people because you scary as hell.
And I'm a coward.
You know, and never will I ever disrespect Jrue Holiday or never will I ever disrespect NIKOLA JOKIC, right? Both talented guys in their own rights. I don't know what context this is in.
Yep.
I don't know what's trying to be said. Like, obviously, Jrue Holiday isn't NIKOLA, but, you know, you talk about a high character guy. You talk about defensive mindset and all of those things. Obviously would be a great asset to any team that you add Jrue Holiday to. So I don't know the context of this, and I don't know who this person is that said it. But to the point of Nico, listen, sometimes you go from one field to another, and there's going to be trial and error, right? And when you're coming in, you might come in hot, and you might try to. I'm gonna make my stamp. I'm gonna make my name to show that I'm smart just like everybody else, or I'm genius level, or I'm an expert and I know what's going on, and you fall short. I feel like this has gotten so messy. I don't know if Nico gets another opportunity to be a GM. I don't know if he wants another opportunity to be a GM. No. You know, I'm sure it's less stressful to go work for Nike and make sure you try to sign the best talent you can sign to wear the swoosh, opposed to this. You know, so all of these things are trial and error. At the end of the day, we're still talking about basketball. I want to keep all of this in context. We're talking about a man that dealt with death threats and
I don't like that.
I see it's a party planned for him.
Okay, how about that, by the way?
It's a party being planned for his
party.
firing. Like, some of these things are fair in sports. You know, sports can be harsh at times. Threatening somebody's children and all of those things, not cool, not appropriate, never acceptable. But if you're having some fun in basketball when things don't go right, hey, listen, that's the harsh part of sports. But I don't know what to make of any of this at this point.
I don't either. Well, I'm confused because I'm the fan here, right? So I'm the one that boos and I buy tickets and I do all that.
Would you go to the party?
Well, no, and that's what I want to show the video. Like, if I was at a game, I would probably boo. But to go out of my way, to get out of my house,
that's not happening.
Go do this.
The kickback
feels like
is
loser behavior
well,
to me.
Listen,
he definitely looks like a loser.
I don't mean to call him, but like
he has an interesting hat on, and they're bringing the coffee.
Bro,
listen,
this is the worst kickback I ever seen.
I was about to say this kickback.
There's 4 people at the kickback. No food, barbecue, drinks.
I was about to say, as much as we're making about this move,
that's a gathering of rejects.
Thank you. As much as we're making about this move and we're making about the fan base, it's 8 people out there. It's not like it's 1,000 people out there.
No.
So we shouldn't make a lot about this.
Those are walking comments.
Well, there were the intentions. You got it. We did have some big news, I think, yesterday. And I'm glad Chandler's here for this as well, because we have sort of been waiting for the